me.
Hello everyone, welcome to another video. My name is Brooklyn and today's video is going to be a fun one. It is the Australian book tag, and if you weren't aware, I am Australian myself. Always have for the 22 years of my life. Never been born, I was born here, raised here. I have moved around all in the one state, but I have lived in Australia my whole life, and I'm not one to be like patriotic or anything, but this is a pretty good country. So we're going to share that love and love of Australian things today with a book tag, because we love to make things bookish in any way we can. I will link the original creator down below because I can't think of their name right now, because it's quite an old tag, but I did see Crystal from Bomb Book Reviews do this recently, which is what made me want to do it. So I will tag her down below, and please go give her a follow because she is beautiful and amazing. But yes, let's get into it. So the first one is a koala, and one of our native animals. We love a koala. Just don't get chlamydia from them, and don't go near drop bears. But this is a character that you want to cuddle all day long. So with this one, I thought of it in two ways. I either thought someone that really needs a cuddle, which I was thinking Magnolia really needs a hug. She needs to be hugged for a very, very long time. And as she has not had very much like affection from her parents and has a lot of issues with her relationships with friends and boyfriends and all the rest of it, she really needs a hug. So that's what I kind of thought would be the best person that really needed a hug in my fictional land over here. But also, if I wanted to cuddle anyone for a really long time, it would probably be Rowan Whitethorn, because that man would be so big and cuddly, like, be so good. And also Reef as well. So, you know, like anyone big and cuddly that is my book boyfriend will be great, but particularly Faye, I feel like would be the best option, because like imagine that. And also Wings would help cuddles potentially. I don't know what I'm saying now. Got a bit off track, but let's go with Magnolia Parks. She needs cuddle. Then we have number 2, Vegemite. Vegemite is my favourite breakfast. I love Vegemite toast. And this one is a book that you love that everyone else hates. And everyone that comes to Australia, this is like one of my biggest pet peeves about people that come to Australia and like celebrities and all of the rest of it. They have a piece of Vegemite toast and they have the most amount of Vegemite on this piece of toast you have ever seen. And it's not okay. You need a lot of butter, and you need to spread that Vegemite so you can barely see it, basically. Like, it's personal preference, but most people hate it because it's so yeasty and so like salty. So honestly, peoples, if you're gonna have some Vegemite toast, please spread it very on the light side, because yeah. But for this one, a book you love that everyone else hates, I went with Haunting Adeline, because this has a lot of hate against it because of how dark it is and certain things that go on in this book, but I freaking love it. Yeah, we have a whole vlog on this over on this channel, so please go and watch that to see my whole thoughts, because I could go on a rant and a tangent, but I understand why people like might not like this, which is totally fair, and I understand why it's like wrong, but it is a book, so you got to take that with a grain of salt. And if you like dark romance, then you know what's up. So I love this book. I don't care if people hate it, I love it. Then we have the Soceroos, which are our soccer team, obviously. And this is to do with your favorite fictional squad. And I have a lot of them because that's one of my favorite things probably about like fantasy books, is meeting the characters and their friends and their friend group and this whole squad that goes on this journey together, and you get to know like each of them separately and together. It's my absolute favorite thing, and that's probably my favorite thing about Cassandra Clare's books. All of the Shadowhunter books, they have such good relationships with each other. the time, like, it's hilarious and you love them all, and like honestly I could read a book on each person separately, but what makes this series is that their relationships with each other are just brilliant, and the connections that they form as friends and also lovers and everything, but mostly friendships during these books are literally everything. So, and most of them are family, but yeah, it's like family friends, it's like that type of relationship. I absolutely love that. But also because this, like, talking about this kind of thing, like squads, these people have a complicated relationship, and it isn't until probably, I'd say maybe like Empire of Storms, Tower of Dawn, maybe Queen of Shadows, that you kind of see them working together as a group and liking each other. So that's really nice. And I also haven't read Kingdom of Ash, which I'm sure that will bring this group home. Hopefully all of them. But yeah, like literally these characters together mean everything to me. So it's one of my favorite things about fantasy books is just all of the characters being friends with each other. It's the best. Then we have Southern Cross, and this is your most recent 5-star read, and the most recent one would have to be Lore Olympus Volume 5. I read this last night and gave it 5 stars. I was a bit worried about this one, that a few people were saying that it wasn't as good as the other ones. It was a little bit boring, but honestly, I loved it. I can see how they're setting up for the next one, and that's probably where people found it a little bit less entertaining. But honestly, I could read these characters doing nothing. I feel like this one really gave you a deep insight into how they work, and like things were revealed in this one that are like massive that we didn't know, and just like the art is beautiful. So I honestly, like, I can't not love these books. They're my absolute favorites, and I just wish there were billions of them because I could read this world forever, and I hope it never ends, but I feel like it's going to. So yes. I have Ned Kelly, which I'm not going into that situation. I don't really know much about Ned Kelly. So it's like a grim book, but it's iconic. You need to read it. I chose The Book Thief. Obviously this is set during World War II, during Nazi reign and Hitler and all the rest of it. So that's what makes it very grim. But this book is a really great book, and I read this in, I want to say, year 9. So I was like about 15, 16 years old, and I was learning about World War II at this time for like the first time. So this was like, I don't think it was required reading in history, but our teacher loved this book, so he made us read it. And I had tried to read it before, but I didn't really understand anything. So, and I was a bit younger. So when I reread it, I really enjoyed it, and it meant a lot to me. And just from the perspective of death, this one as well is so good. Like, it's just really well done. And also this author is Australian, so I needed to include him in this video. Then we have the Great Barrier Reef, which I have never been to. I really wanted to go there this year, but it's really far away and really expensive. So I will get there at some point in my life, but I don't think this year is the year. But this is a book that had you gaping in awe, and I have to choose my favourite romance book ever, and that is The Spanish Love Deception. Because if you have seen my vlog whilst I'm reading this book, you will literally see me with my mouth agape the whole entire video. I'm just constantly just like, what am I reading? This is the cutest thing I've ever read. I love everything that's happening in this book. I'm obsessed. Literally, this book is like the definition of awe, because I was in awe the entire time, as you can see. And the multiple dog ears, like, I'm actually just like, I just, this book is everything, and I need to reread it as soon as possible. That's all. We have Pavlova, which, if you didn't know, the Australian thing that we have at Christmas time. Basically it's meringue with like cream, whipped cream on top and fruit, and it's just an Australian dessert we have at Christmas. So I don't really like it. I'm very in the minority there. I don't like meringue that much, so that's why I don't really like it. I always opt for the trifle option if there is one. So the Pavlova is a light and fluffy book that you can't help but love, and for this I'm choosing the entire Lore Olympus series. As I was saying before, I love this series so very much, and it's so light, and it has like, honestly though, it has very dark topics. It does have a trigger warning before you read it, so please be mindful of that. But there are a lot of moments in here that are very light and fluffy that make you go like it's like that. So yeah, I really love it, but it can get quite dark, so I didn't really think about that for this option. It doesn't really go that well, but still, I can't help but love this. I literally don't think I could hate this if I tried to. Last one is something that I absolutely love, and that is Milo. Milo used to be everything. I haven't had it for such a long time. It actually makes me want to go get some. But basically just like chocolate powder situation you put in your milk and stir it around, makes like chocolate milk. It's a genre or author that you reach to get out of a reading slump, and for this one I always reach for romance. I find a quick romance book will always put me out of a slump because I can easily read it very quickly, and literally any Tessa Bailey book will do me perfectly, or Lauren Asher or Anna Huang. I really find her books, all of their books, amazing to get out of a slump because perfect. Like honestly, it just goes by so fast and you feel like you've read a lot because you're reading them so quickly. So it's the perfect thing for a reading slump. But that is all for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Please let me know your answers to these questions, or do the tag yourself. Definitely, I'm not going to tag anyone, but definitely feel free to do this. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.